Hey everyone, Oxygen here. I'm just here to give a quick update on the progress I've made on the Skybase Zone mod for Sonic Mania Plus. So, first off, I want to start off with the reason why it's been so long since the last update. Uh, Part of the reason was because when Sonic Mania Plus was announced, I was worried that if I kept working on the mod, when the new version of the game came out, it would screw up some of the mod because the mod would be designed for the older version of the game. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is because nobody had created a custom collision editor at that time, so I had to wait until somebody had got it working and we actually knew how to use it. And now that that's all ready and Sonic Mania Plus has been released and there's no real problems, I got back to work. Firstly, I'm going to show off some bit of Act 1 because you guys didn't get to see Act 1 in the last video. So this is what Act 1 looks like. Now if I compare it to the original Act, you'll see that it looks almost exactly the same. There might be a few changes because the physics are different in Sonic 1 for the Master System and Sonic Mania. The physics are very different, obviously, because one game is an 8-bit game and the other's, well, not. You'll see that these represent the streaks of electricity, the path that the electricity follows in the thunderstorm sort of thing that's going on in the original Act. And I'll hop in game and show you guys how it actually looks in game. But first off, let's just look at the level outside of game. If we open up the game, so firstly, the music that is playing is T. Lopes' reimagining of Scrap Brain Zone from the Sonic 1 on the Master System. The reason why the music is here is because in the original game, the music used in Act 1 of Skybase Zone was the same from Scrap Brain Zone. And because T. Lopes made the original soundtrack for Sonic Mania, I figured using another one of his remixes for the mod would be quite fitting. So in the final release, there should also be rain and wind, not just the darker color palette from the storm effect, but I'm having trouble getting that to work. You can see slopes work now. I finally got the custom collision to work. One thing to note is that some of the sprites are a little messed up. That's because nothing is final or even really close to final. You see this cannon down here. Hopefully I'll be able to get that to shoot. As of right now, it's just a tile, like a normal, just a normal collision tile. No, it's not an entity at the moment. You can see I added a blaster here. The blaster replaces the cannon that's on the other side of the platform. I'm not sure if I'll leave him in the final game or if I'll replace him with a cannon if I ever get the cannons working. Oh, there I go. But I figured that he would help make everything just a little bit more interesting. Another thing to mention is that the color palette right now isn't that close to the original. The original had a lot more dark blue in it. I think I'll go and I'll readjust the color palette after all the level design is finished. Then I got all the entities working and all that good stuff. Then I'll probably go ahead with somebody from the Retro Engine modding Discord, and we'll figure out how to get the palette to work and make the sprites, clean up the sprites and make them look a lot better. So this was a quick look at Act 1. Now let's take a look at Act 2. So when I started working on the mod again, I completely redid Act 2. Started from scratch. This is what it looks like right now. So the old version of Act 2 looked quite a bit different. One of the challenges with making levels in a Sonic game is finding a balance between wide open areas that you move really fast through and smaller areas that you do platforming through. So trying to find that way to condense everything down and make the level design a little bit more tighter and a little bit more precise was quite challenging. So as you can see, I put zip lines in from Green Hill Zone Act 2. When we open it up in game, the sprites are messed up, but it works just fine, which is nice. There's quite a bit of paths, as you can see. Lots of balloons and airships. Some of the airships are just floating right now. They don't have a balloon attached to them. Some of the balloons don't have airships attached to them because I'm still working on things. And if we move up to the upper corner, you'll see that this is a recreation of the entirety of Act 2 from the original game. Act 2 of the original game was just a single airship. Obviously, because the levels can be a lot bigger in Sonic Mania, I decided to make the airship, the original airship, be the very last airship in the zone. So you'll make your way up to this airship, which will be the highest one in the sky. It'll be up in the upper left-hand corner. And you'll make your way through this airship, and the end of the zone should be right about here, just like it was in the original game. So, yep, it's just a quick look at what I've made so far for Act 2. Let's open it up. I've also added a few things to the music, like that little piano at the beginning. I think I'll change it because I think the original music, or the version 1 of the music, sounds much better. There we go. Got the zip line that doesn't look right. So as you could see, after landing here and I started moving towards the spring, the projectile from the blaster enemy almost hit me. So if you're not fast enough after landing, the projectile actually will hit you and it will hurt you. That's just a little bit of cycles that I got to work nicely. So here's this top path that I have so far. Ow, that hasn't happened before. This is actually, I'm going a little bit backwards. Grab onto this. Well, if I managed to grab onto that zip line, it would take me to the end of the upper pathway. There we go. Go around this loop, and this is the end of the upper pathway as of right now. So this, there's supposed to be a pathway a little below that, but managed to miss it. Let's look at the middle pathway. Jump off this spring, go down these ramps. Now we have another split. You can either go up on this platform up above me, and that'll lead to the upper pathway. You can jump on this floating platform that's just off screen. Here it is. And this will take you. You'll also go along the middle pathway. Some springs, and then there's that zip line up there that'll take you down to the end of the middle pathway as of right now. But if you turn around and go this way, you'll grab onto these zip lines that run underneath the airships. And you'll be to a sort of a little below the middle pathway, but not quite on the low path. Because as we know with Sonic games, the low path is usually the slow path. With a few exceptions, but that's generally the rule. Here we have an electric shield that I can't reach unless I was Knuckles. Once you drop down here, you actually can't get back up unless you're Knuckles or Tails. Or maybe Ray. Ray might be able to make it up. This is a bit of a punishment for going the low path, because getting on the low path is pretty easy. Or getting on the high path is pretty easy, so if you manage to screw that up and get on the low path, well, you messed up. I got these cannons to shoot missiles. Pretty nice. Just like I was hoping. And this leads to the last airship on the low path right now. You can see I might need to adjust the platforms up above. Make it a little bit easier to jump between them. Make it over these spikes and this trap right here. And this is the end of the bottom pathway. So this is about all I really wanted to show off so far. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll either answer them in the comments, or I might make a answering question video where I'll just answer questions by talking, which might actually be a lot easier. Thank you for watching, and bear with me, because I don't know very much about programming, and this is the first mod I've ever made. So, baby steps, but hopefully it'll turn out pretty nice. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.